The market remains hot this week in the wake of the Commander ban list announcement. So again, we're splitting the market watch into two parts. Part 1 begins now. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can pre-order Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles products, Secrets of Strixhaven products, or find a vast number of other great items on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look at the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. As I said in the cold open, the secondary market is still extremely hot this week. A lot of the card spikes you'll see are tied into the Commander ban list announcement that occurred on Monday, but there's other things going on too. Due to all the activity, we have divided the market watch into two parts. In total, we'll be looking at 6 cold cards and 30 hot cards. In part 1, we'll see the cold cards numbered 6 through 4 and the hot cards numbered 30 through 16. As always, our lists are based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. This week, in order for a card to be featured, it had to be moving at least 20% and at least $1 in either direction. Quickly before we get started though, just a couple fast things. I do want to say thank you to one of our viewers who gave a super thanks tip last week, and that is Swampy Boy. Swampy Boy, thank you for all your support. Those generous tips really do help the channel a lot. Thank you again. And I also want to say thank you to one of our gold patrons, and that is WolfOfTinStreet Ban. Wolf, thank you for your long-term support on Patreon. I could not do this without viewers like yourself, truly. So thank you again. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. All right, let's begin with the coldest cards of the week, part 1. This week, there's not a ton of cards moving down enough to make our list, but we have more than we had last week. Let's take a look at numbers 6 through 4, starting with number 6. Hickory Woodlot, down $1.01 to $3.29. That's a 24% decrease. This card has been slowly climbing over the last few months due to the play it's been seeing in Legacy, 1v1 Dual Commander, Regular Commander, but especially Pre-Modern. This week it slides down some as it tries to find its proper price point. Number 5 is Mnemonic Deluge, down $1.59 to $5.68. That's a 22% decrease. This seeded up in January since some players wanted to put it in commander builds around UA the Moon Spirit from the Avatar of the Last Airbender set. Mnemonic Deluge is still seeing play in those builds as well as others in the format, but the market moves fast and has moved on to other things. Number 4, Helga Skittish Seer, down $1.80 to $4.75. That is a 28% decrease. This was heating up in January because players and speculators learned that there were payoffs for casting creature cards that cost 4 or more in lore when eclipsed. Commander decks around Helga got some new tools from the latest set, and some players grabbed a copy of it to upgrade the lore when eclipsed Dance of the Elements commander deck, while others added it to fresh builds around the front-facing commander from there, ashling the Limitless. That being said, more copies of Helga Skittish Seer hit the marketplace this week, and the card slides down in an effort to find its proper price point. Now it's time for part 1 of our top 30 hottest cards this week. In this part, we'll be looking at the cards numbered 30 through 16 and return tomorrow for numbers 15 through 1. Let's jump in with number 30. Nexos, up $1.06 to $6.26. That's a 20% increase. This is from the Warhammer 40k Tyranid Swarm Commander deck. It appears in a couple commander builds around cards from its pre-cut, Magus Osea Kane and the Swarm Lord. However, one of the upcoming Secrets of Strixhaven commander decks is what's causing the price of Nexos to jump now. Many are speculating that it will be a good upgrade to the Quantrix Unlimited deck, which wants you to cast X spells for +1/+1 counters. Since Nexos is a Warhammer-themed card, it is unlikely that it will see a reprint between now and the product's release. It also looks like Nexos will play well with the front-facing commander from the deck, that's Zimone, Infinite Analyst. Number 29, Winter Night Stories, up $1.29 to $3.21. That's a 67% increase. This does get a little modern play. Sometimes it's in Omnith builds, for example, and it occasionally appears in Commander as well. It has been known to show up in decks around Captain Howler's Sea Scourge and Hashatan Scarab's Fist there. However, it's the standard format that's causing Winter Night Stories' price jump. A week ago at Pro Tour Lore when eclipsed, we saw 4 copies of this in the Izzet Elementals deck that made the top 8, and 2 copies in each of the Dimir Excruciator decks there. Remember, one of those came in first place. Since then, players have been scrambling to build their own Dimir Excruciator and Izzet Elementals decks, so copies of this have disappeared and jumped quickly. Winter Night Stories is also found in several other standard decks, which are contributing to its demand. Those decks include Izzet Elementals, Izzet Looting, Grixis Reanimator, and sometimes 4-color Elementals as well as Temur Battlecryer combo. Coming in at number 28, Malicious Pride, up $1.36 to $3.85. That's a 55% increase. This is a Lorwyn rare that is yet to be reprinted, so I guess I'll use my one per video. You may know that during this time period in Magic, there was a recession in the game, and less packs of Lorwyn as well as some other sets were cracked. Due to the lower supply, some of these cards that haven't been reprinted, especially the rares, tend to spike when there's some attention on them. So why are people paying attention to this now? Well, the Kithkin creature type just got a nice boost in support from Lorwyn Eclipsed, and I'm seeing a lot of players putting Malicious Tide in a commander build around a card from the new set. That's Brigid Clackhan's Heart / Brigid Doan's Mind. Coming in at number 27, Wandering Mage, up $1.41 to $3.80. That's a 59% increase. This reserve list card doesn't see much play to speak of, but it does support wizards, and it has been updated to count as a wizard itself. Because of that, many are speculating that it may see more demand as Secrets of Strixhaven approaches, hence the price increase. Now, I'm sure there'll be a lot of wizards in the upcoming set and in the accompanying commander decks as well, but will that actually drive demand for this card up? Time will tell, but I'm pretty skeptical. Coming in at number 26 for the second week in a row, Sylvan Primordial, up $1.56 to $7. That's a 29% increase. On Monday, Wizards of the Coast gave a commander update and made a couple changes to the format's ban list, which we'll discuss in part 2. This card spiked last week because it's currently banned in Commander, and some thought it may become unbanned with Monday's update. That didn't happen, but Gavin Verhey did say Wizards would have more frequent Commander updates now that they're past the first year of implementing brackets and game changers. I'm sure that will lead to further speculation on several banned cards, like this one for example. Gavin also mentioned that when they did last year's update, you might remember they went through and talked about every single banned card in more detail, that those thoughts on each card really haven't changed. So what was said about Sylvan Primordial back then? Well, he said that he could see this being unbanned one day as commander brackets evolved. Now, I'm pretty sure they're still going to move really slowly with changes and give a lot of warning when they're thinking about unbanning cards, so Sylvan Primordial's price increase may fade as the market moves on. Number 25, Mu Yanling, up $1.59 to $7.53. That's a 27% increase. This is from the Global Series, and this only comes in foil. Now, the card only sees very fringed commander play, but it is a harder to find card that was a little dry online this week, so the price crept up. Moving up 11 spots this week to number 24, Kinsbale Border Guard, up $1.66 to $6.35. That's a 35% increase. This is a Morningtide rare that is yet to be reprinted, but since I did use my one per video, I'll spare you the whole spiel. Now, the spike here is the result of Kinsbale Border Guard getting more commander play thanks to the Kithkin support that came out of Lorwyn Eclipsed. Much like Malicious Pride, this is appearing in decks around a legendary Kithkin from the new set. That's Brigid Clackhan's Heart / Brigid Doan's Mind. Number 23, Tyrant Guard, up $1.68 to $5.48. That's a 44% increase. This is another card from the Warhammer 40k Tyranid Swarm commander deck. It sees a little commander play, sometimes in builds around Magus Osea Kane and the Swarmlord from its precon, but it is jumping now for the same reason Nexos is jumping. Many are speculating that Tyrant Guard will be a good upgrade to the upcoming Secrets of Strixhaven Quandrix Unlimited commander deck we mentioned earlier. Plus, since it is a Warhammer themed card, it's unlikely that it will see a reprint between now and the product's release. In the future, we might even see Tyrant Guard in fresh builds around the front-facing commander from Quandrix Unlimited. That again is Zimone Infinite Analyst. Moving up 8 spots this week to number 22, Superior Spider-Man, up $2.39 to $7.68. That's a 45% increase. This sees play in several formats. In Pioneer, it appears in builds like Sultai Scapeshift, Grixis Midrange, and Soulflayer. This has been getting 1v1 dual commander play in decks around Terra Magical Adept and Emmet Selchun Sundered, for example. You see it in regular commander too, in builds around Cosmic Spider-Man. Plus, recently, some players have been picking up Superior Spider-Man to upgrade the Lorwyn Eclipse Dance of the Elements commander deck, while others have been using it in fresh builds around Ashling the Limitless from there. However, the format pushing this price spike the most is Standard. Superior Spider-Man is another card feeling the impact of Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipse. It was found in 3 of the decks that made the top 8. One of those decks was 5-color Rhythm, and the other two were both Dimir Excruciator builds, one of which again came in first place. That result helped the spike Superior Spider-Man, but it's also in some other popular standard decks too, like Sultai Reanimator, 4-color Reanimator, Sultai Elementals, 4-color Elementals, Grixis Reanimator, Sultai Self-Mill, and sometimes Dimir Control. This is definitely a card to keep an eye on. Number 21, Everything Comes to Dust, up 255 to 697, that's a 58% increase. This is from the Doctor Who Timey-Wimey Commander deck, and it has been seeing play in builds around the partner commanders Rose Noble and the 14th Doctor, as well as Edgar Markov. However, on Monday, Wizards of the Coast announced that Farewell would be moving to the Commander Game Changers list. Now, some players are saying farewell to Farewell in their decks and need a replacement. Many are going with Everything Comes to Dust, and that has led to the price spike you see here. Quickly before we get to number 20, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles products. You can also pre-order Secrets of Strixhaven products, or find any number of other great items on their website, Magic related and otherwise. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the US, and if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to number 20. Number 20 is Glistening Oil. It's up 265 to 1085. That's a 32% increase. This is spiking due to the -1/-1 counter support that came from Lorwyn Eclipsed. Glistening Oil does see Commander play in Y'shtola Knight's Blessed decks, but many players have also been getting it to upgrade the Lorwyn Eclipse Blight Curse Commander deck. Others are using it in fresh builds around a couple cards from there, the front-facing Commander, Anti-Ool Curse Wretch, and the Reaper King, no more. Number 19 is Starting Town, up 270 to 1270, that's a 27% increase. This is a huge mana-based card in multiple formats, but the new standard meta ushered in with the release of Lorwyn Eclipsed is the key driver for the price spike you see here. Players have been building new decks or tweaking old ones to stay competitive in that format. Starting Town was part of the mana base of half of the decks that made it to the top 8 of Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed, including Temur Harmonizer, Izzet Elementals, 5-color Rhythm, and Bant Airbending. This is in several other standard decks too, like Dimir Midrange, Rakdos Monument, Allies, Esper Self-Bounce, and Sultai Elementals. Now, Standard may be the key driver, but Starting Town is found in other formats too, like Pioneer. There it appears in Selesnya Company, Sultai Scapeshift, 4-color Scapeshift, Simic Scapeshift, and 4-color Greasefang. Over in 1v1 Duel Commander, Starting Town is in decks like Terra Magical Adept, as well as Slimefoot and Squee, for example. Plus, it's been getting some additional play there recently in decks around Heibai Forest Guardian from the Avatar The Last Airbender Jumpstart set. Of course, Starting Town is in regular Commander decks too, like the ones around VV Ornithir and the Wandering Minstrel, for example, and it has been getting increased play there thanks to some new cards. You see Starting Town in the Fire Lord Azula Commander builds, and many have been getting it to upgrade the Lorwyn Eclipse Dance of the Elements Commander deck, while others have been putting it in new builds around a card from there, Ashling the Limitless. Again though, Standard is the key driver for Starting Town's price spike. Number 18, Golos Tireless Pilgrim, up 293 to 668, that's a 78% increase. This is in Vintage Sphere shops, but it is also banned in Commander, which is why it's moving up this week. Now, Golos was not unbanned with Monday's Commander update. However, some were speccing on it leading up to the announcement, and many are still, since they believe that at some point it will become unbanned in the format. Gavin Verhey did say in last year's update that perhaps this would be acceptable in higher brackets, so some are still clinging to that hope. Moving up 8 spots this week to number 17, Well of Knowledge, up 318, 1212, that's a 36% increase. It must be 2021 all over again, because this is just a good old-fashioned reserveless buyout that's been causing the card to spike. When copies are sold back to the market, it will come back down. A week ago, this was number 20 on the hot list. Last week it fell to number 21. This week it jumps up 5 spots to number 16, Tyvar Kel. The one from the list is up 431 to 1430, that's a 43% increase. The Keltime copy is up 433 to 1422, that's a 44% increase. And the one from Foundation's Jumpstart is up 433 to 1532, that is a 39% increase. This has been moving up because of the elf support that came out of Lorwyn Eclipse. It's been an elf-centric commander decks around cards like Lathril Blight of the Elves and Tyvar the Bellicose, for example, and those decks are better with the additional elf support. Plus, Tyvar Kell is appearing in new commander builds around High Perfect Morcant and Marlin Fey Ascendant, both from Lorwyn Eclipse. Alright, that's going to do it for part 1 of our 2-part episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Tune in tomorrow to find out the top 3 coldest cards and the top 15 hottest cards. Until then, though, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.